All right. Hello. Hi, Christ Lutheran. Hi, Santa Clarita. Hi, world.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to Thursday Night Live. Checking in so you don't check out. Me and Pastor Garrett are here just to say hello, answer some questions, and also just have a conversation about what's going on here at CLC.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. It's blazing hot in the sanctuary right now, so if we look red, we're not sunburned.
Yeah,
We're
well, I might be.
Yeah. True. But it's very warm.
It's very warm.
Yeah.
That's right.
But good. Yeah.
Good.
It's hot out today, too.
It is. It's super hot. I do not like this that much.
Neither do I. I'll take the dry air. I mean, moving from Pittsburgh, it was so humid out there, and we just it felt like we were suffocating. But,
right.
Like once it gets over 100,
brutal.
Yeah, no thanks.
Brutal.
So.
One thing new to kind of what we're doing here on Thursday Night Live, he doesn't know I'm going to say this, but our movie.
Are we still on?
We're on. Camera defect. Okay, crazy. Sorry about that. That's not his fault, but behind the scenes this week is Mr. Will McCarty. He's helping us out, so if you want to say hi to Will, he's already said hi to everyone else in the comments section. And the way it works is if you guys have questions about CLC, our ministries, the scriptures maybe even, right?
Yeah, ask away.
Right, ask away in the comment section. We're monitoring, and we'll get to those.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm going to transition us real quick.
Sounds great.
What's going on? As much as we can kind of get to right now.
Yeah. So
where are we at?
Trying to think of where we were last time I was on here. That was 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
We had just transitioned back to digital church.
Right.
So we got pushed back entirely online, which was really disappointing. It was
right.
like we felt like we didn't even get through a whole sermon series. Right. We just got 5 weeks in. Had to do the last week without it, and so we are. The Back to the Future team is meeting to discuss ways that we can come back together in ways that are wise. And
looking for every little avenue, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just figuring out.
Right. So we're hopeful that actually a week from today, big announcement in terms of what we can do in terms of meeting together.
Right.
So we're just thinking creatively about that right now.
Yeah, working hard, right? Trying to figure it out.
Being as vague as possible, so no one knows what we're talking about.
Right. I know it's hard like that, but we don't want to get people's hopes up for one thing, and if it changes to be the other. But it's getting carved out. It really
for sure.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, in ways that are good too.
Yes.
It's actually, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So.
Kind of because we're looking a little bit longer ahead, right? Not just week by week or anything like that, right? We're trying to carve out some distance here, so we have some certainty.
Right. What's funny is, so we put together that like original roadmap that had the 3 different steps, but we, I think the expectation with that wasn't that we would like step forward to one and then have to step back.
Right.
So I think right now we're thinking again, we're kind of having to rethink that about. In particular, what we really want is to be able to give clarity for a good chunk of time, so it doesn't feel like we're just like bouncing back and forth between like step 1 and step 2 and going back to step 1, and that we want to have a clear roadmap with some more certainty for like at least now through like Thanksgiving,
right?
That we can look at that and be like, okay, here's what our plan is, and this is what we're going to be doing in order to be the church. So.
Because going back and forth is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So we're trying to help everyone out and kind of give that sort of certainty. I don't know what else it is, but just some
clarity.
Yeah, clarity. That's a good way to put it. Clarity.
Yeah, a little bit more clarity at a time that's kind of unclear otherwise.
Yes.
So.
And in the same vein, on the youth ministry end for us, we're working on something too. And this past week, I've been meeting with different youth leaders, and we're carving out a longer plan. What we're thinking about doing is setting a year plan of, I'm just going to say it because we're all confident about it. We're excited. It's a year of outdoors. A year of outdoors. Cool. We think that with everything going on, the certainty, in a sense, is found in the outdoors. Right. Like that might be the thing that we can get by the most with. Yeah. And then building.
They can't like take that away from you, right? It's like you just be confident.
Right, and it seems to be safe, and so we're looking at just ways in which we're going to explore the great outdoors for a year as a youth ministry, and so I'm really excited about that.
That's great.
we'll have contingency plans built around it for inclement weather, things like that.
Yeah.
But
of which there's like almost none here.
right. I know we had the whole conversation about, I'm from Michigan, right? You just spent all that time in Pittsburgh.
You wouldn't do a whole year outdoors out there.
No, and it's so funny because we were sitting there talking about it, and they're like, well, what about when it gets cold?
Bring a hoodie.
Right, you put on a hoodie or a jacket and some pants.
Right.
You know, we've I can think of at least one individual, young person who only wears shorts.
Yeah.
Winter, right?
Yeah.
Put on some pants.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
I had a friend in high school like that. He wore shorts. It'd be like 28 degrees in the morning. He's got shorts on.
Right. So we're excited about that. So, like you mentioned, I think, right, we ended a sermon series 2 weeks ago. I preached this week on a kind of a one-off, patience. Yeah. Looking forward, we have a new sermon series.
We do.
Yeah.
So I'll talk a little bit about it. We'll have more information coming out soon, but it's we're calling it, I almost called it Back to the Future. That's the name of our planning team. We're calling it A More Perfect Union. Cool. Which, if you're familiar with that phrase, it comes from the preamble to the U.S. Constitution. Right. It's not at all a sermon on politics, just to assure you, but really it's a sermon on different truths that actually unite us.
Okay.
And I think that's increasingly important because we're so divided right now.
Yeah.
It seems like, I was just thinking about it the other day, I feel like the two, like in my lifetime, what I've seen is like historically defining moments. One was 9/11,
right?
And then the other one would be what's going on right now with the combination of the pandemic and the protests. And it seemed like after 9/11, like after a national tragedy like that, people came together.
Right.
Right. This is not the case, right? It seems like we were together for like 5 seconds, and then everything got politicized, and we got pushed apart in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So I want to look at specific biblical truths that would actually ground us in something that we can agree on and be united around. So
that's awesome.
I'm excited about it. A more perfect union, meant to imply that no union is perfect.
Right. I know that's one of my favorite lines from the. It's not mine. It's everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's genius, right? It's because what they're saying there is that they're not giving us the perfect form. That this isn't a perfect state. Yeah. We're not in a perfect union, but it's a. I'm not trying to get political on that side. It's a continuation of sticking to our values and carving out each time and place what that looks like. And,
there's like this. Man, I don't want to give away too much of the sermon for this weekend, but I'm going to do it anyway. But there's like a John Adams quote. He's talking about the Constitution, and he talks about how the Constitution of the United States is inadequate.
Interesting.
For a people who is not grounded in the faith. Which is really an interesting statement. He's talking about, that without the faith, the Constitution is inadequate.
Wow.
So I'm kind of taking that as like a launching pad for, what are the truths that he's talking about that we believe in, that actually make the Constitution, and it's not about the Constitution, the sermon series. I promise. We're just taking the name. But what are those truths in particular?
Right. What is it that we can unite around, and we do unite around? That's great. I know it is a crazy time, and it's certainly a time where I need to hear those things myself. And you mentioned 9/11. I was in 4th grade, and I kind of remember it. I remember the unifying element. I remember church being packed. Those weekends afterwards. But you're right. This is quickly turned into something that's divisive. Yeah. And we've been on this track, it feels like, for a while. Right. As a culture.
This isn't new, right? It's just kind of like the
sort of
the accelerator of something that was happening already.
Right. Of course. Yeah. That's interesting. Well, if you have questions, we're not getting much today. If you have a question, feel free. Say hi, at least, if you're tuning in. We'd love to say hi back to you. How's the family doing?
Yeah, they're great. Polly we call him Polly. So
Cute.
So he just yesterday, in fact, it was amazing to us. We set him down on his back,
Yeah.
Christy went to go do something. I'm watching him. He rolls over to his stomach, which is not unusual. But then he proceeds to push himself up into a seated position. And I'm like, wait, what?
All right.
Yeah, I'm like, your mom just totally missed that.
Yeah.
So I put him back and had her come in, and he did it repeatedly, like 4 or 5 times. It's just like, so he's great.
Just got it.
He's hanging, and
that's awesome.
he's doing really well.
And Christy's doing well?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
That's great.
she's good aside from she's working from home. You know,
Cool.
I think losing her mind with doing that.
Right.
Yeah, but she's good. But we got away last week to vacation with her family.
Cool.
Which is really great down in San Diego.
Yeah.
That was where they grew up going, and it was
That's awesome.
it was fun because it's like a 2 hour and 15-minute drive.
Still haven't been down there. It's bad. I know. I've like one of my best friends, Matt, lives down there and
Yeah, you
everything
should
from
go.
childhood. We've got Blake Choate, awesome youth, now a young adult down
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You know, David Michael Myers. I just haven't been able to make it down.
I think you'd love it.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of good LCMC churches down there too.
There are.
Yeah.
There really are.
So gotta go check them out.
Penasquitos Lutheran Church. I have
Okay.
a friend who's a pastor there. So.
All right. I
Yeah.
just had a friend that moved from Michigan to take a pastor job somewhere down there. Gotta look.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think you're going on vacation.
Yes, I'm going to leave on the 7th. I'll be going back to Michigan just to hang out with my family. We've a new addition. I have a new niece, Violet Joy. Yeah, she's beautiful. She was born July 9th, 10th. Oh, July 10th. It was a whole
Let's
big
hope they're
process
not watching.
there. Right, I know. Crazy. And yeah, I can't wait to get back there just to see
that'd be fun.
her. And we're going to spend some time in the Thumb, from Michigan, in the Thumb on the
Why do you
lake.
guys do that?
Right.
Everyone always goes like, from Michigan. I guess it does kind of look like a hand. But.
It's a hand, We call ourselves a mitten state
Okay.
because we got a hand. We kind of ignore the UP that way, but no offense to the Wisconsinites out there, but they also call themselves the mitten state. Which
Do they really?
Seems weird to me.
Yeah,
'cause-
Wisconsin just looks like kind of a
Yeah.
blob. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Has no
Right.
discernible shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like we have a comment. I can't see it on
No, it's from Elizabeth.
Yeah. Did you guys know it will be a 107 on Saturday? Come to the beach instead. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
We have a family ministry event this
That's right.
weekend on
Thank
Saturday.
you for bringing that up,
Yeah,
Elizabeth. That's a really good point.
good plug, Elizabeth. This weekend, our family ministry is hosting a beach day. You can find, I think the info is on our website, clcscv.org.
Yeah.
I forget what time they're meeting.
I believe it's 9 o'clock. Elizabeth can confirm
Yes.
this if she's watching. So I think it's 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock
Right.
at Carpinteria. Christy and I were actually talking this afternoon about driving out
Yeah,
for that.
I was
so,
hoping to be there too. They're gonna have a sign.
Yeah.
They have a sign that you'll be able to see where
Yeah.
we're all meeting, and come out to the beach. It's gonna be 107.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Hang out
And
with
at the
them.
beach, probably like 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a perfect Saturday to hang out with your church family and seems safe, right? Beach, sun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not getting a lot of comments today.
That's okay.
Are you feeling settled in?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. No.
Yeah.
If only because, I mean, I'm settled in insofar as like Santa Clarita still feels like home to me.
Right.
So in that sense, I do feel settled in, but I think I don't feel settled in because I haven't gotten to see you
Right.
all that much.
Right.
So that piece is unsettling.
Right.
It just feels like I mean, it's hard to believe I've been here almost 5 months.
I know, it's
and
crazy.
it feels like nothing's happened. Like we've just kind of had to, be
Yeah.
pushed into our corners, and so I don't like that.
Right.
So that's unsettling, and I just praying for the day that that's not the case.
Where we kind of all know each other a little more.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So I'm really, that's why I'm extremely excited about that Back to the Future plan in terms of getting back
Right.
in person soon,
Right.
so that we can actually, churches are meant to be together.
Absolutely.
It's not just the teaching, right?
Right.
It's the teaching gathered together.
And the fellowship that occurs
yeah.
there, right? It's super important.
Yeah. Oh, 9 to 1. We got
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
confirmation.
9 to 1 beach day family ministry.
78 to 80.
It's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
So you guys should check that out.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, anything you wanted to share with anyone right now?
I think just an encouragement. I think this is a discouraging time.
Yes.
Without a doubt. And I think what I keep coming back to is just the fact that the Lord always promises to work in and through these things.
Yeah.
And I think just to be patient as He does that, right? Like this whole thing didn't catch him by surprise. He's not like, oh no, what do I do?
Right.
Yeah, so just an encouragement to be patient, and I'm telling myself that as much as anyone else.
Right. Do you find yourself preaching to yourself?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, patience, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just an encouragement. I mean, the refrain, it's so stood out to me before, but especially now it's again standing out to me is the wait on the Lord.
Yeah.
And you talked about how waiting and this patience is not passive.
Yeah.
You know, it's an active running towards a goal.
Which I got this awesome email from one of our congregants today. I have to respond still. Lucy Banduc, who teaches at Trinity Classical Academy. She teaches Latin.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, you nailed it. It's an active sense. And I was like, yes, oh gosh. It freaked me out for a moment. I'm like, wow. Because someone really paying attention and she kind of went through it all.
So when you don't nail it, you'll...
Right, yeah. She'll let me know. But an active
great.
sense, you're right, to patience.
And being aimed at that common goal, right?
Right.
Of reaching Christ, being conformed to His image, and which is not a painless process.
No.
I mean, like you use the analogy of running a marathon, right?
Right.
It's not painless.
No.
But there's a purpose. And I think just keeping that in mind. So I think that if there's one thing I could say, just an encouragement to stay patient and press forward towards the Lord. And I think a big part of that is actually... I think at first this was my mindset, and then I've kind of gotten away with it when impatience has started to set in.
Right.
But to use this time to be more prayerful.
Yeah.
I think
it's huge. I noticed, like, even I was scrolling through Twitter the other day, and it made me think just about your sermon series. And like I saw, like, See Christianity Today, like there was some article or some op-ed about just how our spiritual lives have really waned during this, and how I don't know how they would have calculated. I don't know. Barna maybe did a study. But I don't know that like Americans aren't in their Bibles as much as they normally are today, or praying as much, just because of the craziness. But, and it kind of just made me think. The timing of your sermon series, Holy Habits, kind of you timed that perfectly. But and what you're saying right here, it is that reminder is something I need to hear.
So do I. I think, I'll name one of the biggest challenges right now, because we're like stuck at home. I think a lot of people feel at least a little bored. And so for technology to take the place of prayer, I think is a big one. I mean, as we sit here on technology.
All right.
I do think there's a way that we can lose our peace, and really lose the presence of the Lord by like going down these certain like avenues technologically, where like we just become addicted or chained to it in a sense. And I would just encourage you, like, intentionally limit that time to, and then carve it out for quiet and reflection.
Go outside.
Time with your family and outdoors and like all that stuff that's so not just healthy for our bodies but for our souls. That just I'm telling this to myself.
Right. No, it's good, because I think we all need to hear that right now. We got a comment and a question.
Oh, great.
From hi Stephen and Pastor Garrett. This is Matthew. It's Matthew Barry.
Oh, hey Matthew.
Coming on Victoria's account. What are you looking forward to see and do when the COVID-19 thing is over? What are you looking forward to see or do?
Oh man, when it's completely over, I think what I'm most looking forward to is just community.
Right.
Like being out, like not being masked, distant, that sort of thing.
Right.
Just being able to be like, have normal human community again.
Right.
Yeah, without this constant like, worry about it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
How about you?
This is so, like, I don't know, surface level or vain at this point. I guess I am just looking forward to things being in stock. Still, I go to the store looking for things, and, like, it's still out of stock. And that's so entitled, right? Like, typical me. Like, I need this, but I don't.
First world problems.
Right, first world problems. But I am looking forward to the time when it's like, is there gonna, like, still sometimes I go in a store and there's no toilet paper, I feel like, or what was I looking for the other day? I forget. or just rubbing alcohol to clean some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? It's
Yeah.
gone. So I don't know.
Yeah. And what was there a second part of that question too that he asked?
Just the look forward to this, what you see or do. Is there anything how about that? You're back here in California. Is there anything that you have seen that you were thinking like, when I get there, I want to go there?
What's so funny is like when we first got the call here, before we had actually moved, I was telling Chris, I'm like, man, you will love living in California. It's amazing.
Right.
And we get in, we're like, yeah, we can't do anything.
Right. Yep.
So I'm excited about actually like exploring, like being able to show her the places that I loved growing up here.
Right.
Which some of which are still open in a way, but there's all these restrictions on it. And I love to snowboard in particular, so if I can get up to Mammoth with her, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Will McCarty.
Yeah, I can get Will McCarty up there too.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing. I love the state as a whole. I know everyone's like leaving right now, right? So,
it feels that way.
I'm like, why are you guys leaving? I'm just getting
the
here.
exodus.
But yeah, I think it's a cool place. And,
expensive and cool.
Right. We were talking about the other day in the office. We were talking about like how expensive it is, and the taxes are really high. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still California.
It is.
I'm like, if you've lived out of state and you've come, like,
it's not bad.
It's pretty great.
There's a reason why it's expensive.
Right.
Bridget Gabriel says hi, along with Tammy and Kelsey and baby Reese.
Oh, fun.
So cool. Hi, Gabriels. Hi, Bridget. Hi, Tammy. Hi. Gary Gaudioso, we've been enjoying worshiping online and the children in the youth videos, which are fantastic. What are the thoughts to keep these going and or evolve them as we move forward? Sorry, I kind of jumbled there. But Gary's asking sort of, I guess that what we're doing right now online and maybe content-wise, how do you see that fitting? I mean, we still have to kind of figure that out, I think, more, like what we focus on and how it moves forward. But where do you see that in play? We've had that kind of discussion a little bit in our Back to Future, like what priorities are and things like that.
Right. I think the one thing that's totally clear is that digital ministry will not go away.
Right. Yeah.
Like our ways of providing online content and engaging with each other online is not going to stop by any means. Even when things are like more and more back to normal, those things won't go away.
Right.
So that's the one thing that's totally clear. And I think with that said, we're always looking for ways to better it.
Right.
Looking for ways to make it feel like it's more helpful to you and more engaging and things like that. So, I know that's the discussion that's kind of always on the table.
Right. I think we're kind of just, to Gary's point, I think we're just trying to figure out ways to, where it fits.
Right.
So it doesn't drive everyone crazy, but it doesn't have to too. It's what's the structure in the system where it's a congregational taking on of it too, you know?
Yeah.
I think, I'll say it right now, I don't care. So I'm not going to hide. On youth ministry and kind of that whole plan we're thinking about, I think there's something in that. Our leaders, we've been talking about how on the back half of kind of we walk through a series or a theme, right, in the Bible, and we try and dig deep. On the back half of those series and the work that those students and small group leaders are doing, maybe there's something that they're working toward. Maybe it's creating content of some sort, of explaining maybe that question in the Bible that they spent 4 weeks digging through, and they're able to post it in some way. Or it doesn't even have to be content. You know, we're thinking about doing like maybe youth nights of wisdom for the congregation, where young people have prepared something for a few weeks that is for the congregation to hear their voice and how they're seeing faith and life together. Yeah. So that's one thing I'm trying to think of is like how to merge the two and have it work together, you know?
Right, so they're not so like, they don't have to be separate once we can come back together.
Yeah, it sort of blends in, and what we're doing together also helps create the content maybe too that's going up. I don't know. So, good question.
That is a good question.
I'm hoping we figure out a way to do power puppets again. I kind of miss working on that thing. That was so much fun.
Those were amazing.
The VBS power puppets. I'm thinking about, on my vacation, I know that sounds horrible. It's not, I don't look at it as work because I actually think it's fun. I'm thinking about taking those 5 videos, the 5 puppets, and putting it into one and trying to make just like a little mini VBS movie.
Yeah. I think I said to the staff after those went, to you and Esther in particular, like, I feel like you guys could sell those.
Right,
Like, they were that well done.
Well, the people...
They were amazing.
Gary's son-in-law, David Stenson, his writing was awesome, and Shannon Kemp, of course, and everybody that was on there. But it was super fun.
Yeah, and they're funny.
Yeah. David and Shannon made the humor. All right. Okay, well, I don't see much else right now. What do you think? Should we call it a wrap?
It's been a good check-in.
Yeah, I think so. Covered a lot of things there.
Yeah, so we hope to see you guys Sunday as we start the new sermon series.
Yeah. And hey, I guess I'm going to just plug it for on Judy's sake as well. Oh, she's not here anymore. But feel free to engage on our live stream when we're worshiping together. You know, say hi to one another. Once you get a few, ball starts rolling. And so while we're in this digital ministry sort of phase and we're working toward finding ways to gather together, engage, comment, say hi. Nick Schreiner. I mean, not Nick.
Kurt Schreiner.
Kurt. Sorry, Kurt. Oh, there's a delay. Cut it. Kurt. What did he do? He was kind of
leading the charge, right?
The
like,
worship
who's
assistant.
Here?
And he kind of filled his worship assistant role at the end there and gave go in peace and serve the Lord. So so jump on and say hi. Say hi to Pastor Garrett or whoever, the worship singers. It's, we're here. Yeah. And it's live. So engage with us.
Yeah.
One other thing. What do we get here? Will there be I
think VBS 2021.
A program in 2021? I would probably assume that, we are. Yeah. Esther is...
for sure there's a program, right?
Right. Esther is working out the dates. Actually, it was last week she, I think, started figuring out what dates it is. She works off of what the rest of the churches are doing. We kind of always go first in the VBS circle here because we have the tradition of sharing the set with other churches. So Esther right now she's going through what she kind of always does. I think she's contacting the other children's directors and figuring out the dates. I can tell you right now, our mission trip for high school has been scheduled for the second week of June there. It's June 6th, I believe. June 6th to the 12th. Yeah. So that's scheduled.
That's great, yeah.
And we're hoping that it's a go. Yeah. I don't hope in a year out everything will be okay. And we do have a question about why we haven't opened like other churches in the Valley. Do you want to cover that, Bridget?
Yeah, we're just going to close now. No,
we've had a lot of conversations around that.
We have. That's like the thing that, that Back to the Future team we were wrestling with, and I feel like a big piece of it is wanting to. So the churches that are meeting, nonetheless, are doing so out of they're going against what the government is actually telling us that is safe. And so I think there can be a case made for that, right? That they feel like
of course.
Other places are open and are being allowed to meet together and stuff like that. For whatever reason, I do think the point I agree with actually with the government is that there tends to be a prolific spread when you combine sitting in the same place for a period of time and singing in particular, right? And so just the issue with that, doing it inside, and so that's why the Back to the Future team is really thinking about how we can meet outside. I'm super envious of Grace Baptist outdoor amphitheater. Right, that'd be super nice. It's just we just meet out there.
That was Kelsey, not me. Bridget's correcting the record.
Oh, Kelsey. I think finding a way to meet outdoors. I actually don't think packing it in, indoors is. The truth of the matter is we just don't know. Right. And I think out of love for other people and consideration, especially most vulnerable. Right. You think okay, how can we still be the church, but take that into account, the fact that we don't know
Right.
the impact it could have on people's well-being. So
Yeah, I think, it's,
yeah, I hope that answers your question,
Right.
Kelsey. Not
we're not,
yeah. Yeah, I know, like John MacArthur, the pastor
Right.
in
Yeah.
Sun Valley.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the service this past weekend. And it was just
Right.
like packed house.
Right. It was normal
No
service.
mask,
No
no
mask,
social distancing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can admire.
No,
It's courageous in a sense, but there's a fine line between courageous and like being foolhardy.
yeah.
And actually paying attention to our circumstances,
Right.
because it's not gathering together is great, right?
Right.
But doing it without
Right.
like listening to the guidelines isn't the only way we can do
Right.
it.
We
And
don't. We don't have to.
And I promise this is not a knock on other Christians. We have
No.
plenty of that, and I don't want to knock on them
Right.
at all. I think they're making the best decision that what
Pastors
their
and
convictions are.
councils and staffs, they're making the best decisions
Yeah.
that they're making, and that's what we're trying to do as well.
Yeah.
We're not trying to create a battle or a fight. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like the way I look at it is, this is not an attack on the gospel or the church. Like this is
Right.
The government's guidelines are not. It doesn't, at least from what I see. I guess someone can correct the record. It doesn't really think. It's not like they're trying to silence us.
Right.
They're not telling us to be quiet. There's tons of people that are under the same exact restrictions
Yeah.
and guidelines, and it's just to try and be safe, to do our best.
Yeah.
And I don't really think
Yeah.
that there's a battle to fight. Oh,
Yeah.
there goes our thing again. As we're getting into the tough waters, things that I'm sure we'll hear
Like,
all
whoops,
about.
the camera cut out.
Yeah. All right.
So, did we get another?
Right. Oh, yes. Okay. We've got another comment from Chad Hare giving us a shout out for the junior high Bible study, a Sunday school morning group that's
Cool.
going to be returning and starting soon in the month of August. Chad and I we've met twice. I think we're going to see each other tomorrow again.
Great.
So, shout out to that. If you're a junior high student and you're looking to engage and dig deep in the Word, Chad and Tabitha. Chad does a great job, and Tab does a great job leading our junior high Bible study on Sunday morning. And if you need help getting engaged, reach out. We can make sure, we're going to have the Zoom link and everything for that. And make sure that's published on our website so it's clear that you can join. And 7th and 8th graders, study together.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever cracked a Bible when I was in 7th and 8th grade.
That's
But,
right. You grew up,
Yeah, just Christmas and Easter
and now look at you. You're a
Yeah,
pastor.
now I come like 3 times a week.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you went to school, too, to study it.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like once you get the hunger for it, it's you can't really get
Right.
rid of it. So
Right.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm going to throw it out there because we're just going longer than we ever have. How do you feel? Is this okay with you?
Yeah.
If you, maybe topics or something, if someone
Yeah.
wanted us to talk about something,
Oh yeah, for sure.
go ahead. We've had some people shoot some emails our way, so
Yeah.
give us
if there are
ideas.
Things like that are like weighing on your mind, or even just curiosities that you
Right.
have, and they're like fodder for sermon material.
I think you're talking to two Bible nerds.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
ask us questions.
Yeah.
Pastor Mike and Pastor Joe would say the same thing too. If you guys have questions about anything, not just COVID related,
For sure.
I'm sure we would like to talk about it too.
Yeah. That's a healthy thing, actually, to not always have to talk about the pandemic.
The big stuff, right? Maybe it's a question in your Bible that you have or something. Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in and asking your questions.
Yeah.
Thanks
for
Pastor Garrett.
joining us for Thursday Night Live. Well, yeah, checking in
So you don't check out.
so you don't check out. Yeah.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, thanks, Will.
All right. We'll see you
See
guys.
this weekend, this
Yeah.
Sunday, and then a week from today, too, for
Yeah.
the big announcement.
Cool. All right. See you guys.